welcome. My name is Ash Duran, and this is Tales and Nails. Today, I thought we would delve into some fan fiction. I am an avid fan fiction reader since last year. If you don't know what fan fiction is, it is just someone who writes about a story that's already out there. So today, we're going to be talking about Harry Potter fan fiction. So someone takes the already existing work and makes their own spin on it. It can be completely in a different universe, just using the characters, or it can be within that same universe, just making the story a bit different. That is a fan fiction. If you've never read Harry Potter before, I don't know how you got here, but you can stay along and see maybe if these stories intrigue you. They do explain themselves within the story, so the main drive are the characters and the familiarity with the characters. But I think a lot of these do a great job of making you care about the characters alone if you've never read Harry Potter. And if you don't want to support the author of Harry Potter, you can support these artists or these authors because some of them do go on to publish their own works. For an example, Senlin Yu, the author of Manacled, the fan fiction, has turned Manacled into her own unique work called Alchemized, and that's being released in September of 2025. It's almost here. I'm excited. But she just had to wash the story of any copyright information, change the names of the characters, and change subtle things about the story to differentiate herself more as a unique story. But yeah, I'm so excited for that. So see, some of these authors are just so amazing. They just get famous through fan fiction, and that's amazing. And so give these guys a read if you like what I say about it. Anyway, let's get started. There are only going to be four ranks today. The top tier, the S tier, if you will be Diagon Alley. I always wanted to go to Diagon Alley, probably more than I wanted to go to Hogwarts, just because you have all the shops and the magical folk, and just perfect in the first movie, right? Sorcerer's Stone, just walking down. Oh, I'm sorry, Philosopher's Stone for the Brits. Um, it just had everything. It was everything I ever wanted as a kid. I just really wanted to go to Diagon Alley, get some butter beer, go to Zonko's Wizarding Shop, go to Honeyduke's, oh, go to Gringotts, get my gold out, go get a wand from Ollivander's, do all of the things, and also Hogsmeade. I kind of put them together. Amazing, fantastic. I always wanted to go, so that's S tier. And the next tier, we'll say that that's like a B tier, is Hogwarts Feast because oh my god, the food looked delicious. I just always wanted to go to a Hogwarts Feast, and then the plates just keep refilling themselves of platters. But then the house elves are doing that, and that's slavery. So yeah, so that's gonna be B tier. Um, for C tier, we have Dementor. It's not the best. But it's not the worst. It's not the worst it can get. I know you're like Ashley. They literally suck out your soul. What can be worse than that? Does that ring a bell? Umbridge. Yeah, that's the last tier is Umbridge. If you land there, your story was just the worst. I hated it. Get it out of my face. That's Umbridge. That's the lowest level that you can achieve. Wait, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, let's talk about Manacled. This is going to go into Diagon Alley. Yes, I said it, Diagon Alley. 5 out of 5 stars. 4 out of 4 teardrops. It was my very first foray into the world of fan fiction. I had never thought of ever reading fan fiction until it just kept getting recommended. And there was a lot of drama that came out with the binding and selling of Manacled and fan fiction in general. So it was getting a lot of press at the time. And I just kept hearing about it. So I'm like, okay, let me go read it. My world changed. I think I read it in 2023, and I've read it twice now already. Actually, no, I think I read it last year, 2024. Wow. It's been, wow, it's only been a year. Interesting. I've already read it twice though, because I just love it so much. Anyway, what is Manacled? Okay. Manacled is a mashup of The Handmaid's Tale, and Harry Potter. Yeah, interesting mix. Never thought I would hear the two put together, but it's by the author named Sin Yu, and like I said earlier, she is being traditionally published in September. What is this book about? Actually, get to it. Voldemort wins. Okay, Harry Potter is dead. All of the sympathizers are being put down, or they're in hiding. If you are of Muggle born descent, you're pretty much nothing. You're the lower of the low, okay? You half bloods, you're kind of getting a pass, but not really. You're still beneath the boot. And if you're pure blood, you're the only thing that matters, pretty much. But there's a problem occurring, okay? Voldemort wants all these purebloods to get together and replace all of the lives lost and repopulate so that they can take over the world, basically. But these couples aren't having babies. They're just not productive because of all of the inbreeding. It's been a problem. If you read the original Harry Potter series, they're all cousins. Kiss their cousins. It's not right. Anyway, so they're not working. Their parts aren't working together. So, of course, in the demented mind of Voldemort, he wants to do a handmaid's tale and get all of the prisoners and all of the half breeds and all of the muggle borns that still have reproductive parts that work and use them as incubators. But it's not just that, they're not magically inseminating these women. No, they are being forced to have these babies and being forced. You understand? And Hermione has been captured. She is one of the witches that have been captured, and they're trained in like these camps, and they're fitted with manacles. So these manacles, these bracelet like things, actually stop a witch from or wizard from using their powers. Okay, so they have no magic to defend themselves. Even like they need their wands to do magic, but even wandless magic they cannot do. Anyway, Hermione is assigned to the Malfoys because Voldemort um, wants to get information from her as she was a high-ranking member in the Order before she was captured. Um, I forget how many years it is after the war, after the Battle of Hogwarts, but it is some time after that. He is convinced Hermione has like wiped her mind clean of any memories she had from before. Clearly, she knows who she is and she knows who Harry and Ron, but she like shut her mind off for any information for the Order of what she's been doing. Okay, for the last however many years since the Battle of Hogwarts, she's just shut it off completely. So Voldemort wants to access her mind, and one of the low points of the story is I don't like the explanation for the forced pregnancy trope. The explanation is that if Draco were to impregnate Hermione, his magical signature would work with her magical signature since they would have his DNA inside of her, and he would have an easier time of infiltrating her. Since Draco is a very skilled legilimens, he was taught by his dear aunt Bellatrix Lestrange, and so yeah, they were just saying that that would help. I don't know why. It wasn't it wasn't a strong reasoning, but I guess just to fit in more of the Handmaid's Tale scenario. Anyway, so he has to do that, and he is married to who he's married to at the end of the movies, which is Astoria Greengrass. And she's not the most likable character. Let's just leave it at that, okay? So you're navigating this world. Hermione is trying to regain her memories. Draco is actively trying to search her memories and things. And this story is told in 3 parts. You can read them in whatever order you wish. Well, I guess not whatever order. You could either read the first part first and then the second part as it's written, or the second part first and then the first. I prefer second, then first, then third for my own reasons, okay? And I won't say any more than that. I would say just read it. It's amazing. It's an amazing work of art. Beautiful writing. Obviously, she didn't have editors and things like that, so it is a little shaky at parts and a bit repetitive, but imagine what she could do with editors, and it's coming out in September, so I'm so excited for it. It is an amazing story, and she handles the delicate matters very well, I would say. It's the scenes that are very, the bad scenes, she doesn't go into too much detail all of the time. I think it's just the first time that it happens that she really goes into detail. I did love the story as a whole. The ending gets me every time, and I just the my favorite part of the work is part two. Part two, hands down, is one of the greatest things written, and it's my favorite. If people ask me what my favorite book is, it's Manacled, and it's not even a book. So I can't wait to get my hands on a bound version of Manacled. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have to learn how to make it because you could only either have it gifted to you or make it yourself. And I'm sorry, I don't think I'm that crafty. I don't think I am. Anyway, let's get on to the next one. So that is an S tier. It is a Diagon Alley 5 out of 5 teardrops because it that made me cry like no other. Anyway, let's continue. I think I dragged on a bit on that one, but I just don't want to give too many spoilers because I do want people to read these. Okay, let's move on to Breath Mints and Battle Scars. So this fic occurs after the Battle of Hogwarts. The Order wins, Voldemort has been defeated, and all of them come back for their 8th year at Hogwarts, and obviously the other students come back as well. Anyway, and I'm talking about all the students. Canonly or canonically, Harry and Ron don't come back in Harry Potter, in the Harry Potter series. They immediately begin their careers as Aurors, and they go to hunt down defected Death Eaters. Okay, not in this fic, which is something that I do not like. But let's finish the summary before I get into my criticisms of it. So they return to Hogwarts for the 8th year. Them, the the Order side, and also the Death Eaters, the Slytherins, the kids of the Death Eaters. So we have the likes of Draco Malfoy returning, Pansy Parkinson, Crab and Goyle, I believe, are in it. Blaise Zabini, and Theo. I can't think of Theo's last name for the life of me, but anyway, they all return as well, and they come back under strict supervision. So the professors are keeping a very close eye on them, and the other students aren't very happy with their appearance there, with them being there. Primarily like Ron and Harry, but it's a very gray line, and Hermione starts to see that maybe they didn't have much say in which side they chose at the end. They have family members that are Death Eaters, have been lifelong Death Eaters, and on the side of Voldemort, and the other people aren't seeing the nuance of their situation. They're not seeing that they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's either stay with your family or defect, and it was hard for them to choose. And maybe their lives were on the line, or the lives of their family members. There were so many hidden things that the other side can't see and can't wrap the mind around it. So you deal with that story and Hermione getting close with the Death Eaters and learning their stories, and maybe that they don't know what they're talking about. And yeah, so let's get into some criticism since that's mainly the whole thing. I don't want to spoil it, but I just didn't like having Harry and Ron come back since them being in the story. The purpose that they filled could have been filled with them being Aurors. I feel like they could have had even a greater impact in the story towards the end if they were Aurors already. And maybe I'll do like a spoiler breakdown of these fanfics, but since this is just a ranking, I'll just do a little bit, don't spoil things. So I just didn't like Ron and Harry in this fic. I also did not like the reasons between. I mean, it's clearly a Dramione Fics, so you know that they do get together in some form or some way, so that's not a spoiler. I just don't like the reason why Hermione defines the reason why she likes Draco. If you read it, you understand. Like, I hate the reasoning behind it. It's not based on personality traits or just a magnetism. It's based off of something strange and that gets repeated often. And if you just delete that, like I'm telling you, it's like a couple of words in the entire book, maybe a few sentences worth of words. You delete that, and the story is just great again. But that just kind of bothered me. Like, give me more of a reason why you like this man, please. And also, I could not stand the ending. What was that? And I'll just leave that there. I'll put that in um, Hogwarts Feast. Get into Secrets and Masks by Emerald Slytherin. Okay, oh, Secrets and Masks. So, it's 9 years after the Battle of Hogwarts, and Harry is nowhere to be seen. Hermione has been captured. Okay. Hermione was a hard hitter for the Order of the Phoenix. I'm telling you, she was doing the dang thing. She even had an informant. A current Death Eater was giving her information regarding the Order. You don't know who it is because they use code names and they change their voices. She does too. So the person that is an informant doesn't know that it's Hermione either. They wear masks, so secrets and masks. And yeah, so she has an informant. She's taken. She is taken and put under the care of Draco Malfoy by Voldemort because Voldemort wants to use Hermione. And there's these spells that they've been working on, okay? And they basically want to turn Hermione into the ultimate weapon. And I'll leave that part there. But some things I liked about this book is this is kind of a spoiler, but not really. Not really. If you read it, it's said there's a dragon in it, and I read this one straight off the heels of reading Fourth Wing, so or at least one of the Fourth Wings. Um, so I was like, oh, another dragon, let's go. So I like that. I do think that the Theo in this fan fiction is Theo Prime, like I have here. So Theo Prime. Best characterization of him in all of the fanfics I've read. He's funny, haunted, dark and twisty. I just want to give him a hug, you know? Poor Theo. But what I disliked, and I did dislike quite a bit, Hermione's depiction in this fic was not giving smartest witch of her age, okay? It just wasn't. What were her choices? It's just you're making her do dumb things just for the sake of having a drive in the story, and I hate that. I hate that. Ashley, you read Fourth Wing. I know. I know, okay? But not my Hermione. How are you gonna nerf Hermione Granger? Hermione Jean Granger. How are you gonna nerf her? At least Violet Sorrengail, I didn't know her from anywhere. If she makes dumb decisions, that's on her. Hermione Jean Granger, the brightest witch of her age, do not make her be dumb, please. Thanks. I appreciate you. I also didn't like the ending. I'll get into this one. I think this one is one that I need to deep dive as well because what was that ending? What was that ending? But yeah, so overall, I think I'll put this one in. Oh, I feel kind of bad, but I'll put this one in Dementor. Oh, but it's because we only have four rankings, so I would put it in C, but since we only have four, it has to go in Dementor. Just because Hermione's depiction, and since she's such a big chunk of the book or the fic, I have to rate it low. So it's going in Dementor. But overall, I think I give it a 3.5 out of 5. Not too bad. And for tiers, probably again like a 1 or 2 tiers out of 5. Also, you killed Colin! You put in the meme, Ash. Put in the meme. But yeah, it's a running gag that in all of these fan fictions, Colin Creevy always dies. It's like the one of the first things that happen in these fanfics. Is it like a thing that we all have to do? Like if I ever make a Dramione fanfic, do I have to kill off Colin Creevy? I think I do. I think I do, or otherwise I'll be going against the heart of fanfiction, of Dramione fanfiction. Let's talk about one that I don't hear talked about that often, but is a favorite of mine. So it's called Divination for Skeptics, and Divination for Skeptics by Olivia Blake. And I believe they're like a published author these days now, unless this is a different Olivia Blake. Okay, there we go. So, the latest in magical advancements is an enchantment that reveals the bearer's romantic compatibility with another person, effectively eliminating uncertainty from dating. The charm can tell you whether or not you found the one. With a precise Hermione Granger approved calculation of traits and preferences. It's a foolproof method of predicting relationship happiness. It's also for Hermione, positively dreadful news. Hermione, post-war soulmate, alternate universe. I read this one a while ago. I kind of forget exactly how it gets started off, but trying to find like her soulmate and she's not finding it. And a lot of couples are breaking up because they're realizing that they see that they're not compatible and they're like, well, what if the grass is greener on the other side? What if I can find my person that is more compatible with me? And you're starting to get these marriages that end up together and things like that. Hermione is trying to find her person and she runs into Draco and they see that they're actually perfect zeros for each other. So it's like you can have your fun since you know that you're not compatible and they start to wrestle. Let's just say that. And yeah, it's just like I said, it's a rom-com. It's very um lighthearted. It's hilarious. It's really funny actually. Theo in particular had me laughing the entire time and seeing what he was going to be doing next. Hilarious, just very funny and very lighthearted. And I read this at the perfect moment. I was in the perfect mood for it. Just finished back to back Dramione Fics. So I think I read Secrets and Masks and Manacled back to back. Back to back, I read those. You know how tragic those stories are? So I needed something lighthearted. I needed something where Draco and Hermione weren't freaking being punished at every turn. All right, they're left to be happy, okay, or as happy as you can be in that time. And it was just very lighthearted, and I just loved it. I loved every single part of it. 5 out of 5 stars. I even loved Harry in it. Ron was in it too, and I didn't absolutely hate Ron. You have Padma Patil or one of the Patil sisters, who Ginny makes an appearance. Yeah, so you get the whole crew and you get to see like their lives afterwards and see what they're up to. And I really enjoyed it. It's sitting at a 3.49 stars on Goodreads, but I really enjoyed it. I think it was just I read at the perfect time, so maybe read a couple tragic Hermione fics and then read this one as a palate cleanser. So yeah, this one is going in Diagon Alley behind Manacled, of course. It won't go above Manacled, but Diagon Alley. And for teardrops, I'll put like a 2 teardrops. I don't think I cried for this one, but I think it is like it's very sweet. It's very sweet. Okay. And next we have Things We're All Too Young to Know. So fanfic, Voldemort is still a thing. Harry is alive. The Greengrass family approach the Order. They want to leave. They don't want to be on Voldemort's side anymore. So the Order hop on this and they tell them that if you give us information, we will protect your family. And what does this look like? Okay. Well, the mother and the father will stay there, but they'll make their appearances as they have to. And Hermione will use this opportunity to try to infiltrate the information circle, right? And she's trying to infiltrate Hogwarts since it is now completely run by Lord Voldemort. And in there, you have Draco and all of those people. So she is going to go in as Daphne Greengrass. She's going to as Daphne Greengrass using Polyjuice Potion, and she's going to try to get as much information as she can. And you still have McGonagall working at the school, so she knows that Hermione's going to go in, and she's just there to be the eyes and the ears. And she has like a way to get out if she needs to. So yeah, so that is what this story is about, having a hidden person on the inside, which I did like that. That's a nice change from the other stories, the other fanfics. Um, yeah, so this one is a very slow burn, but also you get to see the dynamics. You get to see how Draco acts with his friends, which a lot of these stories, like, he's kind of apart from them, but he did a big no-no, and his friends are kind of icing him out, and so he's trying to repair that relationship, and unbeknownst to him, Daphne isn't Daphne, so he's kind of wondering why she's acting a little different around him, but yeah, it is a really good story. I do like the change in that. Just didn't like the ending for Things We're All Too Young to Know because the ending just felt rushed in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. Usually in fanfics, it like drags on. This one rushed. Okay, so I'll continue in Hogwarts Feast. And the final one I think we're going to talk about today is Cruel and Beautiful. Um, by E. Evans, I think. I think it's E. Evans. No, that's Things We're Too Young to Know. Well, Cruel and Beautiful by this author. And okay, so this is the latest one I've read. So I finished this one maybe 2 months ago. This is in a world where um, Voldemort has not died, but neither has Harry. Okay, Harry hasn't been seen in a long while. Hermione has been captured and has been a um, captive. We'll say she's been a captive on the other side, and this can range from a lot of things. Like she can just be doing housework all the time, and other times she would be like preyed upon. If you catch my meaning, but one Death Eater in particular was Barty Crouch Jr. So he's alive in this fic, and he was has an odd obsession with Hermione, and he would request her, but they would be rotated. Like all of the girls, there was like a bit of a community of them that would be rotated between house and house, and they would have to, yeah, they would have to be maids, servants, and things of that like. And they weren't treated very well. You know, they don't eat that often if they're fed at all. Sometimes their host family does not feed them. So yeah, so you have that. And this isn't a spoiler, okay, because it happens so early on in the book and it's even in the description. She finds a way to escape and she is locked in Voldemort's London, okay? As soon as she escapes, they lock down London and nobody can leave and nobody can enter without clearance. So everyone is stuck there. So Hermione has to find a way to survive. Well, lucky for her, her luck has finally seemed to turn in the most odd way as she's just standing there after she freshly escaped Barty Croucher Jr.'s house. She is almost caught by Death Eaters because at night she's almost caught by Death Eaters. They almost see her, but she is saved by the unluckiest of people, Draco Malfoy. He recognizes her voice and covers for her when asked for her papers and things like that. They get on the night bus and he knows it's her. She knows it's him, but she doesn't know that he knows it's her. And yeah, Draco's kind of like at the end of his rope. He's kind of tired of the life he's been living, of the side that he's on, of the game he has to play. And yeah, he sees her and it's just like a voila moment. So he wants to help her. He wants to help her and he knows that she won't be able to get smuggled out. So he offers her shelter in his house, in his apartments. And she doesn't, obviously, she's not going to trust him right away. So it's a story about building trust with someone who has been your enemy for so long. And, you know, getting over her traumas and just trying to figure out how to get out of London. Can she get out safely? Is Draco going to completely turn, like, is his opinion going to be completely turned around in her head? There's also some fun characters that get introduced. There are original characters. I love them. You have Theo in this one as well, which I did like Theo in this one too. um, Astoria makes an appearance. You also have the Order, like Ron and Harry. Um, they make an appearance in some way. I don't want to give too much away either. I think, of course, Colin Creevy death count. I think Colin Creevy died in this one too. Um, yeah, so let's do some cons or some pros. In a lot of these fan fictions, Ron and Harry will be just the worst of the worst. Well, we get a good Ron and Harry in this one, okay? More so Harry. I really enjoyed Harry and the way that he's depicted in this one. He's great. Loved Theo. The plot was very good. It was very, very good. I can see this being a movie someday. You can just change out obviously the copyright stuff, but it was really good. I did love the love story. It was kind of like a slow burn. Well, they won't they? Loved it. Um, the only con is that, well, two cons. So the only con is there's not enough death. If you know who Dylan is in trouble, there you go. But no, seriously, the I don't think there was enough death in this one. And usually there's too much death, right? Like Manacled and Secrets and Masks and stuff like that. But this one, I just felt like, yeah, there just wasn't enough death. Anyway, the other con is it was so dang long. It was so long. Oh my goodness. It literally felt like I read a whole series. That's how long it was. How many, I didn't write how many pages it was, but dang, just dang. Um, it was a great story though. It really was. You could break it down into like three separate parts, um, as well. This one isn't like interchangeable though, but there are three definitive parts, and it was really good, and I did like the story as a whole. It's just it starts off pretty tragic, and eventually it does get better, but you still have your challenges. You still have your obstacles to cross, and it was good. It was just so dang long. It was like the story that never ends. Like I was reading it and then I'm like, wait, how am I still reading this book? How am I still reading this fanfic? It's been like 5 days. How am I still reading it? But yeah, it was really good. I ranked it 4 out of 5, like rated it. But on our tier list, let's see, I think I'm going to put it in Hogwarts Feast. It's not going to be in the top tier because just it's just so long, and I don't think it was necessary to be that long. Just do like I could see it if it was in a book series and you broke it up. It's just it was so dang long. Like I get it, you want to build the relationship, but I was invested already halfway through the relationship building phase. Ugh. But yeah, so I think that is all of them now. Did you read any of these fanfics? Have I convinced you to read them? Probably not, because I kept I kept telling myself, "Oh wait, is that a spoiler?" I had to cut out so much. I'm telling you, I just didn't want to spoil it because I just didn't want to spoil it, and a lot of the explanation of the plot is a spoiler in a lot of these fics. So there's only so much I can say. But I will say, read some of these fanfics. Give fanfic a try if you've never had. Maybe don't start with Manacle like I did, because it will ruin you in the best way. It's you're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it. You know, to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can know every time I upload. And thank you for watching to the end. Bye, guys. Also, let me know if you've read any of these and put it in the comment. What did you think of my ranking? Do you rank them the same? Let me know. Bye.